Okay, guys, we have UFC London on the horizon. Big matchups with big stakes to come with it. Of course, in the main event, we got Leon Edwards taking on Sean Brady in for me, this feels like a classic grappler versus striking matchup. Um, but Sean Brady has evolved a lot, especially since his loss to Belal Muhammad, who is now currently the champ. If you didn't know, well, you should know that. But with that said, he's made a lot of improvements in his striking. And of course, Leon Edwards, he hasn't fought in a while since his defeat to none other than Belal Muhammad. So he lost his title to Belal Muhammad, and he hasn't fought since then. So I'm curious to see what he looks like since then. And can a win over Sean Brady put him back into title contention? And I really do think it can. I think him beating a guy like Sean Brady opens up the doors and keeps him in that pivotal position in such a crazy landscape of the welterweights right now. It just seems like there's a lot of openings, especially with all these shakeups going on in these other divisions. A win here is huge for either one of these men. Obviously, Leon Edwards has a crazy story, so for him to win and get back into that win column is going to do wonders for him. A lot of people know him, and we know sometimes it's not about what you deserve. It's about what the UFC thinks is going to be the best and biggest next fight that they can make. And of course, a rematch with Belal Muhammad would be huge. Or if Jack Maddalena is to dispatch Belal Muhammad, then there's a lot more possibilities and a lot more openings, especially for a rematch or for a chance for Leon Edwards to slide back into title contention. So there's a lot of things that are riding on these matchups right now. Um, both guys have looked great. Obviously, Sean Brady has fought a couple of times since his loss to Belal Muhammad. I think he, just by looking at this, he's been pretty active. His first professional loss was to Belal Muhammad. First professional loss. Comes back and rebounds in a big way, getting a round three Kimura finish over Kelvin Gastelum. Big win. People might say, oh, Kelvin's not that guy anymore, but Kelvin has been that guy. He has been at the top of the division, fighting for an interim title, beating the who's of the middleweight division, and now he's at welterweight. And then for Sean Brady to beat a guy like Kelvin Gastelum, finishing him, and then beating Gilbert Burns to follow suit, puts him in a real pretty position. If he can make this three in a row, I think he's our next title challenger, especially if Jack Maddalena can get the shakeup and get the finish, or even just get the win over Belal Muhammad and cause some chaos in that division. Obviously, we know Shavkat is injured. He's out for a bit. Ian Gary. Obviously, his fight with Shavkat, it wasn't the most entertaining fight, but it was close. It is what it is. It's just one of these positions where a win for Sean Brady, and if it's impressive, can help him leapfrog a lot of these other guys. And again, it's not about what you earn or deserve. It's about what the UFC thinks. So again, it's not what I think, guys. I'm not telling you what I think should be the next matchup, but I think if Sean Brady is to beat a guy like Leon Edwards, headshot dead, who beats a guy who went viral after knocking out Kamaru Usman like that, it puts him in a pretty position to start calling some shots. And of course, we don't really call the shots, but you know what I mean. For lack of better words, calling the shots. So I haven't really kept up with Leon Edwards on social media to really know what he looks like, where his mental is at, to be able to gauge where his mindset, everything, his spirit to want to fight, to want to compete. So not competing since then, taking a lot of time off, and then coming back against a tough dog in Sean Brady is a big challenge for him. So I think this is going to be a very interesting fight. Leon Edwards to me reminds me of like I don't want to say point fighter, but he picks his shots. He's not looking for necessarily like crazy volume in his fights. He's picking his shots, he's moving, and he's just looking to be accurate, making the shots count. And of course, if they count big like the headshot dead. That's a big shot. And of course, him fighting Kamaru Usman three different times, doing as well as he has in those previous performances. Obviously, the second one, it wasn't going his way until the last minute. Can never count him out. So I think that's always going to be on the table in one of his wild cards. And then, of course, the third fight, he was able to defend multiple takedowns. Now, the fight with Belal Muhammad, this is a weird one. They fought at a ridiculous time. Now, I'm not making excuses for Leon Edwards because I'm sure Leon Edwards is making excuses for himself. And I'm not trying to discredit Belal Muhammad because I'm sure Belal Muhammad made all the right preparations where he looked the way he did and Leon Edwards looked the way that he did. With that said, It's going to be a lot more interesting to see this version of Leon Edwards fighting at a more normal time as opposed to fighting at 5, 6 a.m. in the morning, which to me is, I don't think anyone is this sharpest at that time. I don't think Bilal Muhammad was his sharpest at that time. So it makes you wonder, what would that fight have really looked like had both of these guys had come in at a more preferable and normal circumstance like here in the States. We know what time these events are going to be when we're fighting. We're not fighting at odd hours over here in the States. We just don't do it. Um, I feel bad for you European fans, man, because to be a UFC fan is painful. You are sleep deprived, and I adore you guys for sticking up and being able to have some banter with us American folk and talking a little shit, you know? Um, but with that said, if this matchup at a normal time period between Sean Brady and Leon Edwards, we get to see the best versions of both of these guys. And that's going to answer a lot of questions. How sharp is Leon Edwards? Is he still motivated? Is he still hungry to want to get back to the title? Does he still want that machismo to walk around like, yeah, I'm the man. I am him. I'm Himothy. I'm that guy. I am the champ. You call me champ because I am the champ. Even though you still call him champ because he's a former champ. There's something different about actually having the belt that makes you just feel a little bit of like, yeah, I just got this little shiny old thing. No big deal. I just beat somebody up and kind of got this. They said I was pretty good, so I took this home, and you know the vibes. So with that said, and obviously Brady wanted to put himself in a position where he beats a former champion. He cannot be denied. He has to get a top contender after that, if not potentially slide in for a title shot, pending how he looks. And depending on how the rest of the welterweight division landscape looks as well. So just food for thought. Again, I don't think Leon Edwards is a volume fighter. He picks his shots. He's more accurate. He doesn't like to expend a lot of energy. Now, here comes Brady. I think he's more of the opposite. I think he expends a lot of energy in the grappling department. I think he's willing to out-dog you, out-hustle you, make you work, get you tired, the grind, what wrestlers are known for. And, of course, his submission game is second to none in that division. So, with that said, his striking has looked a lot better. I know he's been working with Dean Thomas a little bit, tightening up his game overall, his IQ, his mental, everything, his whole approach. And I think his last two performances speak volumes to that. So I'm excited about this match and cannot wait to tune in because UFC London is going to be crazy. Now, I know my brother is fighting at the LFA event, so I'm going to be busy with that. I got to see exactly when this fight's going to happen for the London event because I definitely want to watch as much of the fight card as I can, or I just watch it the next day. It is what it is. But my brother will be fighting at the LFA event this Saturday on the same day, March 22nd. So with that said, I don't really have a winner in this one. Like, I can't pick. I can't call it. I haven't seen Leon Edwards fight since then. And, of course, he fought at such a weird time. It's hard to actually gauge that performance and go, yeah, this is where he really is at in comparison to some of his other fights. I can look at that and engage little by little and go, okay, he's made improvements here. He's done this better. When he's against the cage, he's defending well here. Brady's going to bring that pressure. I'm more than 100% sure that Leon Edwards knows he's going to be looking to take him down. I don't think he's going to go tit for tat striking with him. I think Leon Edwards has the reach advantage. Don't quote me. I'm talking off the top of my head what I remember about these guys. I think he has the reach advantage, and I think it's going to be to his advantage to pick his shots accurately, invest in the body, and making sure he's using his lateral footwork to keep Sean Brady guessing and disrupt his timing for his shot entries. I think that's going to be the game plan for him to win. Because if Leon Edwards is able to do that well in normal circumstances, time frame of when you're competing against a guy like Kamaru Usman, one of the best wrestlers in the division, talking about pressure fight, even if he doesn't get you down, he's pushing your ass against the cage, kneeing you, foot stomping you, beating you up, draining the clock, and you're just looking up, how do I get out of here? So with that said, I think it's a very intriguing fight. I do like how Brady has looked in the past. These recent performances, I think they tell a lot. And my intuition says Brady, but the rude boy in me, says Leon Edwards, I can mash up the youth. So with that said, I want Leon for win for the yard man them, but at the same time there, I understand Sean Brady, a bad man himself. So this like gonna be a wicked matchup. You see it. But that's what I got for you guys with that breakdown, that matchup. Left body kicks, teep kicks, that stiff jab that Leon does so well, that 1-2, using those elbows that he was slicing up the pads with. He's going to need all the tools in the toolbox against Sean Brady because Sean Brady is coming hungry and looking for gold. Gold is on his mind. So Leon needs to come correct. I'm excited about this. Now, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast and drop a comment if you like what we're doing. And, of course, brought to you by Funk Harbor. Now, we got the co-main event. Jan Blachowicz. I don't know how to say his name properly, so don't beat me up. Now, with that said, he's scrapping Carlos Oberg in the co-main event. Now, to me, this is either going to be a banger or it's going to be a quick night for one of these guys. Polish Power and Blachowicz. I'm going to just call him Jan. And Jan. And then, of course, Carlos Oberg with that nasty, sneaky check hook that he throws. Now, you see him. He's out here. He's long. He's pouring out that lead hand. He's slowing you to sleep. He's just hitting that stiff jab, hitting those low calf kicks. And then he's feinting. Then he's backing up as guys start to push in. He cuts the angles, hits a nasty, sneaky check hook. Catches you either behind the head, which is, you can't see where the punch is landing. So it's a really sneaky shot. So when it lands, it really disrupts your equilibrium. And on top of that, he catches some guys on the chin and puts them down. Look at his highlights. He's been finishing guys. The one guy who beat him, Kennedy, I can't say his last name, so I ain't even going to try that shit. But Kennedy beat him, who's now fighting at, I think, 205 or heavyweight. I think 205. He beats him in his UFC debut. And since then, Carlos Oberg has been on fire. And I'm excited about that. Like that for me, that's the one I'm excited about. 7 fights in a row. Most of them finishes. Hey, that's a bad man right there. So I think the winner of this at 205, actually, Kennedy fought him at 205. But I don't know if he went up to heavyweight. Did he go up to heavyweight? I know this is super random. It's not that important, but I feel like my ADD, which I don't think I actually have, but it's kicking in. I think he's at heavyweight now. I'm not 100% sure, but don't quote me. Chris Barnett, yeah, that was heavyweight. And then the Lucas Brzezowski guy. So I think he's fighting at heavyweight now, just based on what I just saw. But with that said, Carlos Oberg beating Fabio Charant by decision, then knocking out Tefan and Chukui, and then finishing Nikolai, and then Ihor Pataria, finishing him round one. Then round 3, beating Duwang Jung, finishing Alonzo Menifield, round 1, 12 seconds left on the clock. A buzzer beater. And then Volkan Ozdemir, to me, which was a shutout performance. This is a great matchup. Blachowicz is 42 years old. He hasn't fought since his loss to Alex Pereira. With that said, Carlos Oberg has been very active. I think activity plays a huge factor. Not having any ring rust, being comfortable in the octagon, knowing what your go-to attacks are, and just being more sharp, feeling more at home. Jan, on the other hand, he took some time off. At his age, I understand that. I can't expect him to be super active. I can't expect him to be like Kevin Holland, go out there just fighting every other weekend. Can't do it at his age. It's just, that shit hard. Hard on the body. Now, with that said, this is his first fight back since that split decision loss to him. He's fought one of the best guys who has been one of the more dominant champions at 205 since John Jones has left the division and DC has left the division. I think that's a huge statement right there. And if Blachowicz looks anything like he did in the past, I think this is going to be a shocking matchup I think he might catch Carlos Oberg by the shock factor. But I do think there's something to be said about the guy who's been more active. Possibly more hungry, younger, upcoming lion. He has momentum on the side. That's a hard guy to beat. I don't want to be against the cage against someone like that because you got to make sure you are mentally dialed all the way in. Because if you're not, that guy's coming on your ass. He's coming for that. He's coming for that ass. Yeah. I just had to make sure I got that off my chest. So, with that said, seventh wins in a row. That sneaky check hook he throws, he has big power. He moves well at this division, light on his toes. He's not like bouncing up and down like a Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He's not doing anything like that, but he's constantly in almost perpetual motion. When he's setting his feet, he's waiting. As you step in, he's got good lateral footwork. He steps off to the side, nasty check hook, good punches down the middle. And once he has you hurt, good luck. Someone call Liam Neeson because good luck. That man, he doesn't let you off the hook. I think this is going to be a barn burner of a fight. Like I said, it's either going to be a banger or maybe Jen just takes him down as soon as he gets a little bit crazy, smothers him, kind of does like what he did to Izzy. Just shuts down the whole striking game because he got that Polish power and he's a good grappler, underrated. I think a lot of people sleep on the grappling of Jen. But if he doesn't get him down, I think it could be a quick night. But again, Jan has that knockout power as well. I don't know if you guys remember that knockout over Luke Rockhold, but he shut him down. So there are a lot of things that both of these guys have done in their career thus far that make this such a powerhouse of a matchup. I've been waiting for Blachowicz to compete for a very long time now. I'm glad to see him back at 42 years old. There's only so much time that you have. The light at the end of the tunnel, it's getting bigger. So we gotta full steam ahead, not towards the light though. Full steam ahead on the career. Try to get these wins in where you can and see if you could put yourself in position one more time, especially with a new champ. Give yourself an opportunity to possibly fight for UFC gold one more time. And I think Blachowicz would love to do that, end his career as a champ or at least being a title challenger, getting that pay bump and get an opportunity to put on for his city, his country of Poland. And yeah. That's all I got for you guys. Again, check us out, funkharborspirits.com. You guys can order your bottles. Don't order one, guys, please. I'm telling you right now, the shipping cost is like $9. Don't do it to yourself. Order 2 bottles or more. Preferably the white because it's cheaper. But if you like something to sip on that's nice, this is your guy. If you like bourbon, you like whiskey, trust me, you will not be disappointed with this baby right here. This is my boy right here. Check that baby out. Funk Harbor Rum, age 2 to 5 years. Thank you guys for the love and the support. I'll see you guys at UFC London. I won't be there, actually. I'll be cornering my brother for his fight at LFA. But thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, drop a comment. Peace and love, people. Peace.